Hi, friends. On behalf of all of us here at Life Open Truth, I hope you're doing well. If you weren't familiar before with the term shelter in place, I'm sure you are now. Many of you right now are staying in your homes as one government after another has ordered their citizens to do so. Shelter in place means going to a safe location and remaining there until an all-clear order is given. Now, typically, such orders come due to local situations, bad weather outbreaks, chemical spills, active shooters, or other hazards. It's no local situation now, as around the world we are trying to protect ourselves from a virus. It wasn't called sheltering in place several thousand years ago, but that's exactly what someone did to save his and his family's lives. And from this ancient story, we can draw some very modern lessons. The threat then wasn't a physical virus, but a spiritual one, widespread wickedness. The story in Genesis 6 tells us that the wickedness of man was great in the earth. People were basically all corrupt and filling the earth with violence, and even the intentions of their hearts was described as evil continually. This grieved God, it says. Grieved him to the point he was sorry he had even created humanity. Grieved him because he knew also that no one was going to listen to him. Knowing it would only grow worse, God made a dramatic decision to end this spiritual plague. He would send a flood and destroy all living things. Now, those were tough times to live in, and even tougher times to live in as a follower of God. But there was one man who was different. One man who, we are told, found grace in the eyes of the Lord. His name was Noah. God told Noah what he was going to do and instructed him to build an ark where he and his family could shelter in place and survive the flood. And according to all that God commanded him, so he did, the last verse of Genesis 6 tells us. Decades passed as Noah built this gigantic structure. Then the rains came, just as God had said, while Noah and his family of 8 sheltered in place and saved their lives. We could draw a lot of lessons from this account, but let's go to the one big lesson identified in the book of Hebrews. Chapter 11 focuses on faith. And note what it says about Noah. By faith, Noah, being divinely warned of things not yet seen, moved with godly fear, prepared an ark for the saving of his household. Noah listened, and by faith, believing what God said was true, he acted. He followed God. That's what really saved Noah. His real shelter was not the boat, but faithfully following God. Now, others have known this too. The prophet Joel tells us, "The Lord will be a shelter for his people." The psalmist wrote, "In you I take shelter, and I will trust in the shelter of your wings." In a strong relationship with God, we find our place of greatest shelter. Now, a lot of people dismiss the story of Noah as nothing more than a fable, but Jesus didn't. And what he had to say about Noah has everything to do with you and me today. In his warnings of things coming that are not yet seen, he said, "But as the days of Noah were, so also will the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered the ark, and did not know until the flood came and took them all away, so also will the coming of the Son of Man be." People basically ignoring God. And he added, "Therefore, you also be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect." The coronavirus pandemic has certainly made believers out of people that things can come on the whole world when we do not expect. So now, paying attention to the doctors and scientists who warn us that this little invisible virus can potentially kill us, we are sheltering in place physically. But will we pay as good attention to what God is telling us through His Word? Even more important is sheltering in place with God, like Noah, walking in faith and doing according to all that God commanded him. Take care. May God be with you.